Turkey and Russia to hold political consultations, as you can see linked up on Mark13News.com for November 21st, 2023, as the Ezekiel 38 Confederacy continues to formulate up until it becomes the bear of Daniel chapter 7, Gog being the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, which are most likely Moscow and Tobolsk, and the Russian Federation is the current king of the north according to the Daniel 11 hypothesis on biblicalresearchlabs.com, with Turkey being most likely Gomer in Ezekiel 38, and it's the ongoing power struggle within the shadow government of the Kenites, which is symbolized by the he-goat of Daniel chapter 8, that's causing the Ezekiel 38 Confederacy to formulate, and the two warring factions of Kenites are either on the multipolar or the unipolar end of the globalist spectrum, and the United Nations is the great horn of the he-goat, in my opinion. Again, the he-goat of Daniel chapter 8 is symbolic of the shadow government of the Kenites, and the notable horn of the he-goat in Daniel chapter 8 verse 5 was Germany, which is Judah, geopolitically speaking, during the world wars when they were used to bring about the great horn of the he-goat, which is the United Nations. In 1945, when the third trumpet began to sound, which is when the hidden dynasty of politics was globalized, and the two horns on the ram in Daniel chapter 8 are symbolic of Ephraim and Manasseh, meaning the United Kingdom, including the British Commonwealth and the United States. Remember, the last verse of Isaiah chapter 9 looks forward to the two world wars, Manasseh Ephraim and Ephraim Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. So in Daniel chapter 7, where you see those three horns plucked up by the roots at 666, when Satan appears as the Antichrist in Jerusalem, those three horns are symbolic of Ephraim, Judah, and Manasseh. In other words, the Christian nations, with Germany having most likely by that time filled in the post-Brexit power vacuum, becoming the leader of Europe. So again, Ephraim is the UK, including the British Commonwealth. Judah is Germany, including by that time most likely Europe as well, and Manasseh is the United States. And these are also the first three kings of the south in the Daniel 11 hypothesis up until the woe of the fifth trumpet, when they combine together to form the fourth king of the south, which is the lion of Daniel chapter 7. But the great horn of the he-goat, which is the United Nations, in my opinion, has to get broken before the four notable ones will come up for it toward the four winds of heaven. The four winds of heaven always means the 5-month-long hour of temptation, in this case at the beginning of it, at the woe of the fifth trumpet, and the four notable ones are the four beasts of Daniel chapter 7. Daniel's fourth beast is exclusively supernatural, which is how we know it won't be until Satan and his angels get cast to earth at the woe of the fifth trumpet that the one world political system comes into being, having 10 horns, which are symbolic of 10 fallen angel kings, and it's also at the woe of the fifth trumpet that the he-goat of Daniel chapter 8 will become the leopard of Daniel chapter 7, symbolic of the Kenites and their four hidden dynasties, providing the infrastructure of the one world system that will have feet as the feet of a bear, which is symbolic of the Ezekiel 38 Confederacy, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, which is symbolic of the Christian nations up until the woe of the sixth trumpet, when Satan appears as the Antichrist in Jerusalem, because that's when most Christians will be killed spiritually when they worship Satan instead of Christ, which is what Antichrist means, causing the Christian nations to become non-Christian nations also when those three horns get plucked up by the roots, as you can see in Daniel chapter 7 verse 8.